to... Hey guys, welcome back to Licensed to View. This is a weekly pop culture podcast on the internet where two best friends get together and talk about pop culture stuff. I'm Jason. Zach, what's going on, man?
Oh, man, just jumping back into Guilty Gear and getting... I don't know, it's not as much frustrated as it was before. I think the problem is that, I was playing a lot of Ino before, because I love her design so much, but her gameplay is, so much tougher. And then I switched back to, my second main. I started playing Giovanna again, and I got to, floor 8, which I hadn't done, since I got started... Since I got the game, I have not got past floor 7. And then I played Giovanna for 2 hours and got to floor 8, and I was like, yeah, I think this character I should stick with.
Oh, okay. See, I haven't played it, so everything you just said, I have no idea.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I know that, the shit, they're coming out with a new balance patch and shit like that, which is cool. They haven't really said, what's getting changed, but, I think it's supposed to come out in, beginning of September or the end of August, something like that. I don't know, but they said they're going to be patching in some stuff. They really didn't say they were going to be nerfing anybody. They basically just said they're just trying to make everybody more powerful, which is I don't know. I guess it's easier to just make people tougher than it is to try to balance out making somebody else weaker or whatever.
Well, is there a character that's Yun?
Basically, Soul Bad Guy is the Yun of the game. He has ridiculous buttons. He has ridiculous damage. His DP, raw DP, Wake Up is a ridiculous amount of damage that he does. A lot of the people who are good Saw players can touch you 2 or 3 times and you're dead. Which in a game like this, where it already has damage output and strive is already ridiculously high compared to most fighting games. So it's him. May's a noob killer almost, because her dolphin pressure is fucking stupid that she can double dolphin and it's still plus on block. It's stupid. And then probably Ram too. Ram Lethal, because she's not got anything amazing like Soul does, but she's got those 2 giant ass swords and they control almost a third of the screen, if she's swinging a sword, which is neutral wise is fucking annoying to deal with, especially when I'm starting to play Giovanna and she has no long range moves really. Her long range option for Giovanna is you have to dash, and her dash can slide her boxes, but
there's no way that those swords are safe, right?
Well, I think her regular slashes are safe because it's just part of her slash and heavy slash. I think they are safe, and they're also
she can poke you.
Even if they're not, they have so much pushback on them that it's really hard, especially for a character like Giovanna. She doesn't have anything that's fast and longer range, so it's really a pain in the ass to try to punish her. You really have to try to read what the Ram is trying to do, and you have to basically try to jump over her swords and try to get in like that. So.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, that sounds cool.
Yeah. No, it's not too bad.
You know what is cool, or not cool?
Tell me about it.
Is our topic for the week.
I don't know, man. I feel like it's a pretty cool one. I'm digging. I really do.
Well, I just didn't know how you felt.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't want to assume.
I gave you a little bit of teaser on the Instagram, dude. I thought that'd give you a little bit of hint, man. I think it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, well, we'll see what my thoughts flow out. But this week, dude, we are talking about 1969
Yes.
Sam Peckinpah's The Wild Bunch.
Yes.
Which I proposed to watch this week because I have never seen it before.
I've never really even heard of it until you mentioned it.
I've heard of it my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
because my dad is a Western fanatic.
Mm.
So I grew up with him watching specifically, Wayne,
Yeah.
right? But all the spaghetti shit he would watch all the time.
Mm.
And when I remember asking him like in high school, like, okay, well, what's like movies should I watch that are in this genre, like
Yeah.
spaghetti westerns or no westerns in general? And it's like Hondo and like Rio Bravo and fucking obviously Fistful,
Yeah.
right? And then like Wild Bunch. I remember him specifically saying this, but I just did never fucking
I don't think I'd
put two and
ever
two
heard the
together.
name, but I think I'd known of this movie by reputation because, as we'll get into, I think I'd heard by reputation that its ending fight scene is like one of the. I think like at the time it was like one of the bloodiest,
Yeah.
uh, like final confrontations that like had ever been in a movie up to that point. Which I mean,
Yeah.
it's like a fucking 15-minute long balls to the wall shoot 'em out.
I mean, and the only reason why I even came back to it, or came around to it, is because I told you when we were talking about this off pod,
Mm-hmm.
it's because in the Quentin Tarantino interview on with Joe Rogan,
Mm-hmm.
he specifically mentions this movie for it being violent.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember the context of why he mentioned it. I don't know what they were talking about, but I remember him
Django,
saying
maybe?
this name. I don't remember
Mm.
because I feel like even if they're talking about Django, I feel like he just referenced Django.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the context exactly in the podcast because it's a fucking 2 hour podcast.
Yeah.
But I remember him saying this or mentioning the name, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. I add that to my list, and just like I have a running list of westerns and spaghetti westerns that I have never seen
Mm-hmm.
that I want to watch. I actually bought. I mentioned it to you, but I bought it. If I can reach it over here, I don't know if I can reach it from my fucking shit, but I mentioned this. Um, the complete
Oh,
Sartana
Sartana.
set from Arrow,
Wow.
still sealed. And then they have. I don't know who's doing it, but Region B. What's the other one I was telling you about? Sabato,
Sabanta?
Sabata.
Sabata?
I think it's Sabata, maybe.
Sabata, yeah.
Sabata trilogy is coming out here soon. I'm debating about pre-ordering that. Um, but it's just that I was always torn because I love Western movies, right? But I specifically love American. So it's the Clint, right, in
Yeah.
every form. So whether it's like Hang 'Em High,
Mm-hmm.
obviously Fistful's great,
Yeah.
right? But then I love like fucking Tombstone. It's like so not Western, but I love Tombstone. So this movie, whenever you Google it, it's like, yeah, this is like in the annals of fucking
Classics. Yeah.
Western classics. So I'm like, okay, well, shit, let's see how it holds up because I'm like Western specifically for me. I'm not sure about you. We talked about this before in the podcast, but like for me, I'm one of those guys that's like, if it's before 1970, I usually don't give a shit,
Mm.
right?
Let's
But
ride on the
westerns
cuffs
are
then.
I'm saying, well, westerns are the only genre that I will watch from 1952.
Oh, yeah.
I will go watch an old John Wayne movie because like they're all from that era.
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch them because I like the environment, I like the cowboy stuff. But if it's like a fucking, I mean, I guess like some of the adventure movies I'll watch,
Mm.
you know, like Treasure of Sierra, whatever. I'll watch that movie.
Sierra Madre?
Obviously, see all the fucking, Sinbad movies. I'll go watch the old Sinbad movies. But when it's like, hey, watch this comedy from fucking 1948, I don't give a fuck. It's not gonna be funny,
Yeah.
But westerns are really the only ones. Um, so I figured, hey, give this a shot,
Yeah.
and we'll see. I got gripes though.
You got
I got a couple.
I mean, I definitely got some
I got a
gripes
couple.
too.
I got a couple things, but for the most part, I'll say now, just from the get go, really great movie.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think I really, really enjoyed it. Um, yeah, I mean, there's definitely some gripes for sure, but I mean, positives first. I think everybody who's acting in it is great. I think they're great. I love
Yeah.
all the outlaws. Ernest Borgnine, I can't remember the main guy, but and then the two brothers, and then the Mexican Angel. I love him too. He was probably my favorite out of all of them, honestly.
Your favorite character in the movie, or your favorite
I think my favorite
bad
character
guy?
in the movie.
My favorite character in the movie is what's his name? Deke. Is it Deke?
The main guy?
The guy chasing them.
Oh, Thornton? Thornton?
Yeah, whatever his first name
The
was. I
one
can't remember. Is it?
who yeah, the one who was in
I know
jail.
it's Thornton. It's Deke, isn't it? Is that
I
his
can't
first name?
remember. I just remember Thornton. Thornton.
I think it's. I feel like it's Deke. Let me pull
It
it up.
might be.
Yeah, it's Deke.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think everyone within like 10 minutes, just the first part of the opening where they're on the roof,
Hmm.
like just watching, right, and they're bantering back and forth. Just that conversation alone, very quickly, it shows you drastically the difference between Hollywood in 1960 something versus Hollywood now, like the type of acting.
Yeah.
And it always reminds me when I watch old shit, like how different the like they're probably approaching this shit the same way, right? Like how do we act? They're probably using the same methods of acting or whatever,
Hmm.
but like just the way that it's caught on the camera or how they enunciate or whatever, it just seems so. Maybe it's also because it's shot on film. Maybe it's one of the two. Just adds. It gives me this impression of like this is a movie.
Hmm.
You know, like if that makes sense. Like it's probably like a nostalgia feel for something that I was never alive for, because it's shot on film and something about that. I only get that from like Christopher Nolan. I don't
He's
even
the only
know if
one that
that's
shoots on
exactly
film
what it
anymore.
is. It's like him and Quentin
Yeah,
Tarantino,
that's
right?
it, basically.
But just that first 10 minutes, I was like, okay, they're setting up. There's a lot of wide shots. It's like there's sets. They're on
Hmm.
location. It's like everything about the movie is like they're not. It's not CG. Everything is there.
No, and that gets to
So
like one of the biggest set pieces that like surprised me later, which is when they decide to blow up a fucking bridge. I'm like,
right,
okay, yeah, they actually like. I'm sure it's not a real bridge. I'm sure they like built a bridge in the middle of somewhere, but still,
yeah.
like, they built a bridge and they blew it up.
Well, it's the idea that they're on a roof. We're not on a fake roof. We're on a roof, and we're filming down from the roof.
Yeah.
And we're gonna cut to a building that maybe is there, probably not, but also probably is because they have angles from inside the building pointing outside the building to the roof,
Yeah.
right? So they're all in this space. So I could see them, and they probably didn't shoot it this way. Obviously, they probably would shoot one side, cut to take whatever. But I could see them acting, just have two cameras, have three cameras, which they don't do, but just I could see it happening. Like, hey, just roll, action, and we're both doing our scenes at the same fucking time.
Oh.
And something about them both existing in the same world together at the same time.
Hmm.
You don't get that anymore, except for when you have scenes of people together on a green screen
Yeah.
or on a blue screen or in a small set together. That's really kind of the only time. But this is like a whole town. They brought fucking so many people in
Yeah.
to this 15-minute, 20-minute opening sequence shootout,
It's a
and they're
fantastic
all
shootout.
there. It's great, but like the idea that like it's like you don't, and it's so surprising because to me we don't get that anymore. So why it's the fact that it's surprising me is it's sad.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's part of like it's it's part of just like the changing society as a whole, which is just like with the fact that like CG's become so much more prominent and people are able to do stuff with CGI that like has never been thought to be possible before, has also like stopped people from being like quite as creative with like what they can actually do in the camera, not just
Yeah.
outside of it. And so a lot of people I feel like don't get in those situations where like, oh, we could like do such and such and we could like film it in a certain way when most people's default action nowadays I feel like is like, oh, we can just do CGI and do whatever. So
Yeah, it ends up being like a crutch,
yeah.
where it's like, okay, we'll just we'll do it in post.
Hmm.
But it's almost like fucking this the Peckinpah can't do that.
Yeah.
So it's like we're gonna have to shoot this right the first time or second time or the third time, so we have every angle covered.
Yeah,
And
well,
we
I
can
think
tell the
it's very
story.
reminiscent of like martial arts movies in that respect too. Where yeah, it's like we don't have a post. Like if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it right, and we're gonna stay here until we get it right, exactly the way that we need to get it.
Yeah, like real martial arts
Yeah.
movies. Yeah, I mean, like not like the fucking bullshit ones that we see like an Avengers movie,
Oh yeah.
like Black
I
Widow,
mean, I don't
where
consider that a martial arts movie.
right, but people who don't watch martial arts movies will be like, oh, they're doing martial arts,
Yeah.
right? But like if it's a Jet Li movie, we'll pull the camera out wide,
Yeah.
show you Jet Li doing some shit, and then we'll cut in for the hits, and then whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like for this movie in the Wild Bunch, like we're gonna show you not only we're gonna show you the gunshot, we're gonna show you the person getting shot in the same frame, and we're also gonna show you a blood splat and a squib in the same shot,
Mm-hmm.
like 5 or 6 times. So that we're just in the first 20 minutes, it's something that you haven't seen in 30 years.
Yeah.
It really, like I can't think of the last time I saw a movie in the modern era that had like an action sequence that was 20 minutes long on a real set with real horses, with real stuntmen and real stunt women. With there's 80 people in a town or whatever the fuck, and they're all getting lit up with fucking pops and explosions. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. Heat? I don't know. A Michael Mann movie? I don't know.
What
Because
was that?
John Wick's all CG blood splatter.
What was that? I don't know if it was Squibs or not, but what was the Chris Hemsworth movie?
That's guaranteed. I think that's guaranteed all CG blood.
Was it CG blood?
Yeah. But those guys though, Chad Stahelski and then the director Sam, whatever his name is, I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
Sam something. Sam Hargrave,
Mm-hmm.
the director of Extraction.
Extraction, that's
Like,
what it's called.
Those guys, and I'm sure there's a female who will do it eventually or is already doing it. I just don't know about. But like, those dudes, those people, understand that this has to be done because they're stunt people.
Yeah.
Right? So those movies are definitely like, yeah, we're gonna be in a town with fucking ton of people. Like that's amazing, right? That part is great, right? Because not even the scripts part, that's whatever. But the idea that like John Wick's going to a nightclub and he's gonna beat people up, and there's people in this nightclub,
Yeah.
like a ton of people. So you have a lot of moving parts and stunt people doing stunt people shit. So like the opening of the Wild Bunch, when they actually start shooting out, and then the crew's trying to get away. Right, people are trying to get away on the horses. I'm like, okay, I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, we're going to get a horse drag, guaranteed. We have to, and literally, we got it. I was like, there you go. I knew it, because it's 1969.
We didn't get horse drags.
Movie.
You got fucking people get fucking trampled by horses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure
That
they just
too.
captured a woman dying on camera because she got trampled by a horse.
Yeah, I think the movie's gonna mean some shit in terms like the opening sequence when the title card is a bunch of kids having fire ants fight scorpions.
I thought that was like the weirdest fucking shit. That was like I didn't write too many notes down compared to like when we were watching Gundam or anything like that because I actually was just kind of engrossed in the whole movie. But it was like one of the first ones I wrote down. It was like that scene, and I was like, "Is this supposed to be like some weird ass symbolism shit?" Like,
I don't know.
I don't. It's very confusing to me. Like, I guess watching the movie, you could kind of like take it as
like
the fact of like when they go to the base, like the Mexicans are the fire ants because they're just like relentlessly attacking them, and then the Wild Bunch are like the scorpions, which are like powerful, but they just get overwhelmed by numbers. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
And then God is the kids just smacking them down. I don't know.
The whole movie, I kept thinking to myself, like, which one's the Wild Bunch?
What's the band?
Like, obviously you want it to. It's the gang.
Yeah.
Right. But also, it's like, could it not also apply to the deputized
the
gang?
railroad deputies? Yeah.
Yeah, because like,
which also
he keeps saying the whole time.
I guess it's just because that's part of the culture, but it's something that's not really like pointed out in this movie. But the fact that like the railroads were like their own sense of like law enforcement back in the day.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a sheriff's office. Like that's just a company, but they also have the ability to like deputize people that are basically at this point homeless people. Like those people are just homeless.
Well, it's like if you watch Hell on Wheels,
Yeah.
it's like the same business. You know what I mean? Like you get to protect the business of the
Yeah.
the railroad. If it applies to the railroad, then you gotta go serve out justice, I guess. Um, but the movie really it shoves you in and doesn't really explain kind of much until we get until after the first fight
Yeah, it's
sequence.
not really until they basically get away to Mexico that they really like take a chance to like breathe and like kind of let you like take stock of everything that's happened in like the first 30 minutes of this movie.
Yeah, exactly. I remember watching and being like, "Are these guys the good guys or bad guys?" I can't tell. I think they're the bad guys. I don't know. I can't tell though for sure.
Yeah.
And then we get the next. They get to the whatever. And I'm like, okay, they're bad guys.
Well, it's also super hard to
Um,
tell because like at the beginning of the movie they basically show up looking like Boy Scouts.
military,
Yeah.
like right, like they're wearing military
Which is also
uniforms.
the strange military uniform because I was like, they just look. I thought they were like scouts because it just looks like a scout uniform, but I guess it's just the way the old military uniforms look. But
What's even weird to me is that it's a Western movie,
mm-hmm.
but they all have like semi-automatic pistols
Yeah,
because it's 1913,
right.
and then like I don't think that maybe this doesn't apply to the rest of the world. Maybe it's a uniquely American thing. It's not about being like special, but it's the fact that the country is only like 300 years old,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like let's do the math real quick. Hold on, let me pull my phone out. Let's just do some.
1776. It's like
Yeah,
it's less than
2021 minus
300.
1776, 245.
Yeah,
So 245. Zach, what's the average lifespan of a human being? 80, 75?
I think right now it's like 85. I think.
Let's say 85. That's only 2.8 lifetimes.
Yeah,
So like
not that long.
literally like, it's the idea that like like Abraham Lincoln was a kid when Jefferson was president or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
Like that's stuff like that. It's like it's 1913 but we have fucking cowboys still.
yeah.
Like they're dying, it's a dying breed, but like they're there.
It's the very tail end of it. It was like
Like the
World War
idea.
One era was like right around the tail end of
Yeah.
outlaws
Like
and cowboys.
like there could be there are people who were fucking in World War One, like doughboys,
Yeah,
who are the children of fucking like Billy the Kid.
yeah.
Like fucking like Wyatt Earp's son is like in fucking a doughboy in Italy or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
That to me that's insane, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird to me like watching it's a Western movie, but it's a super modern Western movie. Like they have semi-automatic pistols, so they're not having to do 6-shooter standoff.
Yeah.
You know, um, and to me that was interesting. And that's sort of it's uniquely like a gun thing that I caught. I was like, okay, cool. Like they're firing, and it can be violent because they can just keep firing.
Yeah.
They don't have. We don't. No one reloads in this movie.
No, nobody reloads in
right?
this movie.
It's that Western logic of like everyone has magic guns.
It's just infinite ammo, baby. They just got the GTA cheat, and they just got infinite ammo.
Isn't there an anime where someone has like magic bullets, or it's like Devil May Cry or something? There's something where like there's like a spell in the guns that has like if the guns just reload. I can't remember what it was, but they explained it away that way because you never see the character reload, and they like had that reference be there. I don't know.
Soul Eater?
Maybe I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't recognize that off the top of my head. It's probably a thing, and I'm sure it's out there. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. So speaking of the let's just go with the story first.
Okay.
Because the basic idea is that this aging gang of outlaws is trying to get that last score, classic.
Yeah. They thought they had their last one, and they ended up getting fucking bamboozled.
Yeah, they got bamboozled. And then they're just like hopping around. It's like part last score, part mission for Angel.
Yeah.
It's like part helping him out, but part also trying to make
Well,
some
it starts
cash
off,
money.
yeah, it was just them trying to, just find a place to hide out to try to, like, get the heat off of them, because they know that they've got the fucking railroad deputies on their tail, so they're, like, hiding out in Mexico. And while they're there, they're also broke, because their job fell through, so they also need money while they're hiding out. So they end up going to see this Mexican general who I guess as part of the government, because this is also apparently
Yeah.
the time during Pancho Villa, which I don't know a whole lot about, but I thought he was like a Mexican hero, um, which I guess he is because the government general in this movie is a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
Um, so, but they end up going to the general to like try to find a job, and they end up stealing some stuff for him, and it, you know, cascades in a whole other series of events, which leads to their eventual last stand.
Yeah. It's a 2-hour movie
2.5 hours.
with very little plot.
I mean, it's really, yeah. I mean, the plot is really kind of bare bones. I mean, the overall plot is bare bones. There's a lot of things that happen in between, but like the basic structure is very
Yeah.
simple.
Well, the even the things that happen are very much just we go here, we say this, we go
Yeah.
back, we say this, we go back to that place, and we say this, and we go back over here, and then we say that, which is what a movie is. I understand that, but for a West, this is my big gripes. That last third of the movie, up until the last gunfight,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, my phone was calling me so powerfully. The whole time when they were trying to
You
double
mean once they
cross,
delivered
like
the guns to the general?
yeah, when they're trying to play the general, like try to like get away safely, but still get this and like all that whole time, I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna walk here and then yap, and we're gonna walk here and yap. I'm like, oh my god, because one of the things I noticed is that the movie, while I really enjoyed it overall, tonally it's confusing as fuck sometimes.
Yeah.
Because tonally, it's supposed to be this Western bloody bloodbath movie, which I can see how it could be in 1969. But also, it's like this like buddy group laughy stock movie where we're gonna have like funny music playing. We're gonna be laughing about fucking
Yeah,
what
they're
washers and
not
shit.
like
It's just
super. I mean, they are super serious. Like they take their job seriously, but they're also like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's kind of like I could see it kind of being like, especially for like the two older guys. Like this is basically them at like the end of their ropes, basically. And
yeah,
I think it also comes to the fact that like character wise, I think they explain it early on that like they don't really have like any ambition for their lives, really. Like, I mean, they talk about the fact that like this is going to be their final score, but then you have the second in command basically talk to the guy and be like, "What are you even planning on like doing with your life? Like, you keep saying that
yeah.
this is your final score, but like, what are you even going to do? Like, do you even have anything lined up?" And he's like, "I got nothing." So it's really it feeds into that whole like um, yeah, I mean, I think it really just feeds into the whole like they really don't have anything like planned forward. They're not really like thinking ahead with their lives, and they kind of live with that like kind of reckless abandonment comes with like you not really having like any set goal or anything to like hold on to other than like surviving till the next job or the next payday.
Well, I'm fine with that as a theme, right? I'm all about that theme.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you have these like weird goofy moments that are in the movie like 3 or 4 times. It's not like it's a ton, but it's those 3 or 4 times that pull me out completely. I'll give you an example, right? A modern example that I know you understand.
Okay.
Imagine in Wrath of Man, right? In Guy Ritchie's last movie, whenever they're doing their pre-up to prepare for a heist, they just like cut to the like, a fucking to the his kid's birthday party, and they're like yucking with like goofy music in the background.
Mm-hmm.
It will take away all of the desperateness from them to have the final score. It takes away from the seriousness of what they're doing, of the fact that they don't care anymore about killing people, that they want to do these crimes because they feel like they got fucked over by the army or the military or whatever. It takes away from all that seriousness, right?
Mm.
So to me, in the Wild Bunch, you have this awesome, gory, bloody bloodbath scenes where we have women dying and dudes getting lit up and the guys in the fucking face get shot. All this cool gunfight stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then we cut to the hot fucking the sauna, and they're like, I'm gonna build me one of these, and the other guys walk in, they're like, oh, I'm engaged, and they're like, oh, and the
Yeah,
fucking
that
like
was the most weirdest part. Yeah,
it's like
where
horns playing
the
in the
one
background,
like
like
dumb brother basically shows up and he's like, "Meet my new wife," and I'm like,
yeah, and like
"Okay."
it's like fucking like fucking Daffy Duck music playing in the fucking soundtrack, and I'm just like thinking like this scene should not exist. Like, had the scene end with him being like, I should build me one of these when we get the score.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, whatever, we'll get there, and then cut the fucking scene. You don't need, or even even before that when the guys are getting drunk with the girls and they're like, they're in the fucking
Yeah.
bar, they're in the little restaurant, and the guy's like winking at the girl, and she's winking at him, and she's like, and then she leaves, and then they go and they shoot barrels of wine or fuck
Yeah, I mean, all
off.
that stuff in the interim before they actually like leave to go on their heist is very weird. It's very strange. Like it feel
It
like
does
none
not
of
make
that,
sense.
none
It
of
does
well,
not
it doesn't.
totally fit.
None of that adds anything. I think that's the
No.
biggest problem is that you could have easily had the scene end where the one guy says that they need to go take a bath. Cut to the next day where they're like doing shit to prepare for the railroad heist or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you didn't need any of the stuff after they like set down the initial plan of like where they're gonna go and like why they need to go there.
Yeah, all you need to do is okay. They want to drink, they go and they steal booze, and then you have them drink and then cut.
Yeah.
You don't gotta show this whole build up with them like laughing and giggling with the. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And tonally, it makes no sense for the dramatic movie that you're making. It doesn't make sense to me. It really pulls me out of the movie. Literally, that whole time, I'm like, dude, what the fuck are we watching?
Yeah.
Because we went from, the main leader guy of the gang. I forget his name.
I think it's Pike.
Yeah, Pike, where he kills his partner, his crewmate, because the guy's dead. He's gonna die.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, oh, I can see, I can ride. Oh, I can't see, but I can ride. Oh, no, actually, no, I can't ride. And just finish. And before he can finish the sentence, Pike already shoots him in the fucking face. Right?
Yeah.
That's how we start the movie. And then we cut to them, like, around the fucking washers being like, ha, 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 yuck, 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 ha, ha, yuck, 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 yuck. What the fuck are you doing? What was the point of to build camaraderie? We know this crew is new. He says in the thing, Angel's new to the crew. Clearly, the other dudes know of Pike, but they don't have respect for the man because even Dutch, who's the older guy, he talks to him as though they don't know each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's
so
clear
the only
like
people
Dutch
that know
has
each
been
other,
with him the longest out of anybody in the crew, but like.
But it seems like the only people that know each other really from the get go are fucking Pike, is Deke, and then Sykes.
Yeah, the old man.
Are the only three that seem to have been part of the original crew, right? So like you build this camaraderie, but like
I mean, I didn't really see it as like building camaraderie. I tried to see it as more of like them trying to like deflate the tension because they basically almost got into like a fucking shooting match over the washer shit because they're all just frustrated with the fact that they got one put over.
Well, to me, passing around alcohol, that's movie cinema language for build camaraderie.
Yeah.
Like take a swig and make a joke and you pass it and then you reluctantly take the bottle.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get that because there's definitely a scene where that happens later on, where that for sure is the visual storytelling of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was. I got the more I got with the earlier one was definitely like them trying to like deflate the like tension that was in the group right now. Because I mean, before that alcohol scene happened, you basically had the two brothers willing to like shoot Pike and Angel and like anybody else because they feel like
I interpret
they got fucked over. Even though you find out that they didn't do anything to fucking help, they just fucking slept with whores like the night.
I took it as the tensions are already deflated because we're all sitting together. We're all sitting together, and Pike's the only one standing, right? So he's in the position of being the leader already, and they've all subserved and kneeled down to his order. He's the only one standing. Everyone else is sitting around the crew making jokes about the washers. So like, they're showing, okay, you're my crew. We return to this. You guys had a problem with it. We had a fucking issue. Tension's broken. We're back here, gather around the fireside, planning what we're gonna do next, right? We're gonna make jokes about whores, and we're all gonna laugh and like, yuck, 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 right? But like, we're gonna cut to flashbacks with Deke that ultimately don't have any sort of payoff.
No, not really, because I feel like the point of those flashbacks would be to them actually having a face to
Mm-hmm.
face confrontation, and they don't really have that. Like they have
They don't.
confrontations, but there's not really any like personal stakes to it, and it's not like an
Yeah.
actual like showdown between the two of them
There's not.
of
And
like
like,
reconciling what happened.
yeah, I was expecting there'll be a scene where like they talk. They talk.
Yeah,
Like he knows that Deke has him cornered. He knows where he's going. They interact. He's like, I have to get you,
yeah.
right? And he's like, come on back, come
Look,
to
you
the
wanted the
crew.
Pacino and De Niro scene from Heat. I get it.
Well, not even that. You know, that's a great scene, but like, it would make the end of the movie make sense. Where like
Yeah.
Deke walks up there
Well,
and
the
he's like,
ending is
ah,
also very
shit.
strange. I didn't really understand the ending at all. I mean, I get it, but
Well,
like, I don't know, it felt very weird.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of a cop out ending where like, I mean, Deke knows that he's the old vet guy, so he knows that he's gonna die no matter what.
Yeah, and I mean, I get that like he basically doesn't know what to do because he wanted to join. He basically wanted to join Pike's crew again, and any chance of that is now gone with the fact that they're all
Yeah.
dead. Even though I don't think he would have joined them anyways because he basically was forced into doing what he was doing. But
Yeah, why would you want to join the crew that got you fucked up? That doesn't make sense.
yeah, I don't know, and that's the other thing too is like I feel like it would have made more sense if you'd had some sort of like actual expository confrontation between him and Pike to try to like
Right. Hey, you
settle
left
whether or
me
not
for
he actually like
dead.
blames him for what
Yeah.
happened or not. Because from the flashbacks, we know that like it's kind of Pike's fault, but we don't know.
If he blames him or not.
Yeah, we don't actually know if he actually blames him for what happened or if he just sees it as like, you know,
Yeah.
it's one of those freak things that happens. I don't know.
Or they need to have a flashback with like Deke and Yuma being tortured, like giving up the crew,
Yeah,
and or some and then that like that causes the the marshals or the rangers to go get the rest of the crew, which is why Pike has a new crew, like something like that to have a connection. Because right now there's like two parallel stories that really never intersect except for like a couple gunshots here and there, and then that's
yeah.
it. Like that's it. But the whole
Couple
point is that
gunshots and a blown up bridge. That's about it.
yeah, but the whole point is that it's a chase, so
Yeah.
they should have like constant intersections, at least skirmishes, But that sounds like it's all I'm doing is bagging on the movie. Um, those are just story elements I think that will make the movie better, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I think I agree that there's definitely some of those things that could like have been improved upon, for sure. I think overall, I still had a fairly fun time with it. But yeah, I think especially there's moments when they're at the general's place, even before they do the the actual robbery. Just like whenever they're at the general's compound, it just feels like, come on,
Yeah, what are we doing here?
we can speed this up. Come on.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like the I feel like the whole Angel story. I'm like, I don't fucking care.
I didn't mind it, but I definitely didn't need to like spend all the time in his village or whatnot. Like the
Yeah,
whole
I
like
don't
weird
care.
scene that makes like by the point that we got to the point where they're like dancing in the middle of the circle or whatever, I was like, but
Yeah,
I got the characterization now. Like I got like
he's
why
Mexican.
he is the way he is, like what his goals
Yeah,
are. Like I got that in like the first like 5 lines of dialogue. Like
yeah.
we can get out of here now.
Right. Yeah, I just could have you could have made a classic western story and be like, these are bad guys trying to ride off to Mexico, and they know that the money's being moved. We're gonna go get that money.
Yeah,
That's it. That's all you gotta do.
yeah,
I'm gonna care more. They're outlaws. All outlaws care about is fucking money. You know what I mean? That's all you gotta do. You don't gotta have extra elements to make me give a shit.
yeah.
Because even then, realistically, with the story that Peckinpah has painted, I still want more Deke. I thought Deke was going to be the main character. I'm like, oh, he went to jail for his fucking old gang. That's the main character.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, it's weird that you say parallel storylines because I thought it was going to be, but it's really not. I mean, it is in the fact that there's Deke's side and there's Pike's side, but like, it's really Pike's story. Like,
Oh yeah,
Deke's really not in it at all. Like, it's really not a parallel. storyline.
No,
The fact
the
that
point
it's
that
not fleshed
he's
out, and I don't think it's fleshed out enough to call it a storyline.
no, but Peckinpah's clearly creating a parallel story in the movie of these two characters
Yeah.
that are tied together, that are happening at the same time, even though one might be slightly behind each other, but they're parallel going together, right? And they're supposed to constantly intersect to eventually become a clash at a climax.
Yeah.
But he fucking Peckinpah does a Coen Brothers and no brother and no what's it called? Whatchamacallit? And
Oh, brother, where art thou?
no, what's the one called? Sorry. We talked about it last week. Fucking what's it called? The Josh Brolin one.
Oh, No Country for Old Men?
No Country for Old Men. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where like you don't get that climax, right? But like the whole time you see Pike and you see fucking Deke constantly, cutting back and forth, every however many minutes to try to explain, and so he's setting up a parallel for an intersection, but it doesn't make sense when they try to, because at the end of the movie when it's supposed to happen, he just has the Wild Bunch gunned down at a location we've already been to, which I'm fine, okay.
Yeah.
But almost like you wasted time. Why even have Deke in the story?
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense other than the fact that he's supposed to, I guess he's supposed to be like the impetus that like pushes the story forward, because since they have somebody that's actively chasing them, it forces them to like make all these decisions. Like it forces them to be in the position like where they have to do this heist for this general, so that way they can get the money and
You
try
can
to
do the
like,
same thing by being like, hey, here's a Pinkerton agent. You're the best man tracker
Yeah.
in the world. Go track him, right? And why do you track him?
Yeah.
Justice. It's something as simple as that, because building up this like really great Western revenge tale, I want to see the fucking showdown in the middle of the town.
Yeah.
It's high noon, baby. We're gonna draw down, but we don't get that, And that to me is like the biggest mistake of the movie was that not happening. Other than that, I mean, acting is really great for the most part.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody that stood out to me as like being particularly bad. Yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, acting's pretty solid. You get a close up of a boob a couple times.
You get a couple of close-ups of some boobs.
A couple
You get
movies.
fucking mounted machine gun that looks sick as fuck.
Yeah, you got that.
You got a general being a fucking dumbass and not using a tripod with it, and like
yeah.
trying to Rambo that shit when he's clearly not Rambo.
You get that. We get. I still think that the last third of the movie is really, really weak.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I think outside of the actual confrontation, I think most of the third half, the back half, once they actually get away and they have the guns.
But honestly, though, Zach, like Act 2 is a slog of talking.
Yeah.
Like Act 1, explosive. Act 3 towards the end, explosive.
Act 2. Act 2's Act 2 ends with the robbery, which the robbery was pretty good. I didn't mind the train.
It was fine. Yeah, it was fine.
I mean, there's definitely like, I mean, the three acts each have like one major action scene, and outside of that, it's a lot of talking.
It's a lot of horses walking through.
Yeah.
To cut to them talking.
That's also like westerns in general. It's like you've got your action scenes, and outside of action scenes, it's just a lot of talking.
Well, I'm not expecting it to be fucking, every moment's a fucking six shootout. I'm not expecting that. But there's an abnormally amount of talking, but it's also a 2.5 hour long movie. So like, when I pulled it up, I was like, dude, what the fuck?
No, I definitely think it's more of a slog in this than it is in like most
westerns. The problem too is that it's so much dialogue for no reason.
Yeah, I think it's also it's a slog because it doesn't have any. A lot of it doesn't have any relevance to what's going on.
Yeah, we know.
Like it's just people bullshitting, and like it's cool for a little bit, but like in a 2.5 hour long movie, it gets old really quick.
It makes me feel like Quentin Tarantino watches this movie and goes like, "Oh, I'm gonna have a lot of talking in my movies.
I have a lot of dialogue.
I'll have a lot of dialogue in my movies." I mean, acting's good. The effects are great. Like the special effects are great. Gunshots look
Special
great.
effects are fantastic.
Yeah, the POWs look great. The squibs or whatever they have, or whatever they're using for the bloods look good. I mean, it has that classic, like early cinema, like 60s, 70s blood, which is that super red.
It reminded me of, because I recently rewatched it, which was the RLM's review of, I think it was like Dawn of the Dead or
You know what's
something
funny,
like
Zach?
that.
Literally, in my mind, I was thinking about Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah,
In my mind,
it
thinking
reminded
about it.
me because they showed that clip from Dawn of the Dead. It's that same super vibrant red blood that
Have
like
you
it just
seen that
sticks
movie, by
out
the
so
way?
much.
Have you seen that Dawn of the Dead, by the way?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen that one.
It is a fucking goof troop.
I mean, I've seen the shit where you've got fucking what's his name? Oh shit, what's the guy's name? The special effects guy.
I couldn't tell you his name.
Fuck, I can't remember. The goddamn Jay says his name so fucking much. Why can't I remember his name? I want to say it's like Robert Starr, but that's not right. It's
I can pull it up. Let me Google it.
Yeah, hold on.
I'll Google it now. You can keep going.
But you got him like going around the mall like shoving pies in people's faces. Like, yeah, it seems like it's like a time and a half, and it seems like so much fun. But I've only seen like the Zack Snyder one.
Pull it up.
Which is probably blasphemous, but
I'm trying to find it on Wikipedia.
His name's like Paul something. Tom Savini, that's his name.
Tom Savini, yeah.
Tom Savini.
Classic.
So you get Tom Savini like leading his biker gang around the mall, like throwing pies in zombies' faces and all that kind of like goofy ass shit.
I don't know why the movie's so. Obviously, this is not about fucking Wild Bunch. I don't know why the movie's so fucking goofy. I watched it for the first time like 5 years ago, thinking that this is gonna be like a fucking. This is gonna fucking scare me, right?
Yeah.
And I'm watching and being like, what the fuck? This is the most like. Literally goof troop.
From what I've heard, it's like what is it? I think it's Day of the Dead is like the scarier one, from what I've seen, or maybe just like Night. I don't know.
I'm trying to figure.
But Dawn is definitely like the goofy one.
I don't know if it was on purpose though. Did they mention it in the RLM video?
I don't know if they mentioned that it was like goofy on purpose, but I think it's definitely part of the thing where it's like, because Jay and them definitely mentioned that like the way that. Fuck, now I can't remember his fucking name.
Romero?
George Romero. The way George Romero shoots his movies is like, he basically like just shoots a bunch of shit without having like a coherent storyline, and then he'll edit a story together when he's like compiling all his footage. Like he'll basically just shoot like as much coverage and from as many different angles, like all the stuff that he wants to shoot. So maybe he had like a rough outline, but like maybe just in the editing phase, it just ended up being like a lot sillier than he thought it was going to be. And he was like, well, this is what we got. So like, this is what's going to be.
I mean, I know too, like it's supposed to be like a satirical, like a, you know, a commentary on social out in the what, but I do know that's the
commercialism
point,
in the mall scene that popped up in the 70s and all that shit.
But like, it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed the movie.
It just wasn't as scary as you thought.
It just wasn't, which is fine. I don't want to watch a scary movie. But my point was, I thought my whole life this is like, yo, George Romero is the fucking guy. This is gonna be, you're gonna love this movie. So I watch it. I'm like, this is not what I fucking thought this was gonna be.
Yeah.
You know. But then I would see. You mentioned it. Maybe we're thinking of the same. I don't know if we're thinking of the same movie, but I think we are. Where. And I think RLM did a video too on it too. I think they did a review on this. I'm pretty sure they did, where George Romero's partner like left, and he couldn't use the Dawn of the Dead like phrase or whatever.
Oh yeah, it's the reason that like Dawn of the Dead isn't commercially available because like
because he's owned the rights to it.
He doesn't own the rights to or whatever company it is that made Dawn of the Dead doesn't own the rights to it anymore. It's like some producer that owns it.
Whatever it is. So the guy left George Romero, made his own movie.
Yeah.
Which was like, I think it's like, what's it called? I don't fucking know what that's called either.
I don't remember. Well, I know that the producer that owns the right to it is the one that also did like a reissue of Night of the Living Dead, and he like added some like he added like a new ending or something on to the end of like Night of the Living Dead, and everybody's like, "This shit's fucking terrible. Like, why the fuck would you do this?" I don't remember what it was, but it was like something with like a zombie priest or something like that. I feel like, or something like that.
I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to you on YouTube and look at fucking
Because I know they definitely
reviews.
talked about it. Because they talked about it with, well, they talked about the guy, uh, the Night of the Living Dead guy in the Christmas Best of the Worst. Because they did some Christmas movie that was also made by the guy who like worked with George Romero on Night of the Living Dead. Because they posted that on like the back of the box for the DVD or whatever that was like from the co-creator of Night of the Living Dead or something like that.
Yeah, sorry, I'm scrolling through
Yeah.
their fucking review playlist to try to find this movie. Um,
Or is it? Are you thinking of? Um, no, what is it? Now I know what you're thinking. It's because it's the one with because it's the one where they have Freddie
this the
Williams on.
yes, the with the guest host. It's the
I can't remember what it's called
Return of the Living Dead.
because that's not.
Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, because that's not Romero at all. That's
Well, that's why I'm telling you. The guy who worked on the movie left George Romero to make this movie.
right.
He
Because
couldn't
you're
use.
yeah, because he's
He
the one
couldn't
that
use the
has.
name.
He has the right to like of the Dead or something like that.
Yeah, so he left George Romero, said "fuck you" or whatever, and did his movie.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing clips of this movie on YouTube before this review came out. Obviously,
Return of the Living Dead. Oh yeah.
yeah, seeing clips
From
of
what
this
they
movie.
said, that one's like the scarier one.
Yeah, I remember seeing clips of it. And I know it's supposed to be like a punk rock, like a black comedy
Yeah.
kind of thing, but the effects were too good that I'm like,
That Tar
nah,
Man is fucking frightening.
yeah, not happening.
Yeah.
Like, but we've talked before. I love action movies when they're gory, right, or bloody, because they're action movies. They're power fantasies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And generally speaking, the person that the action hero is killing
He's a bad guy.
deserves it. Deserves it, right?
Yeah.
So that's my horror movie in reverse, right? I don't want to watch fucking. I don't like body horror.
Mm.
I can't. It's my least favorite horror. Whatever.
Mm.
Can't fucking do it, right? So when like in high school, my friends were like, "You should watch The Fly." Not happening. Not gonna happen, right? Don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You should watch more of Scanners. Nah, I'm okay. Not gonna happen.
You don't watch
And
somebody blow up? Their head blow
I
up?
I mean I've seen that scene. The scene's fine, but like
Yeah.
I don't know what else is in the movie. I don't
I
want to
have no
fucking
idea either. I just know that scene, which I feel is
yeah
like what most people know of Scanners is they just know that the guy's head blows up.
right. Or it's like even like when I first watched The Thing,
Mm.
it took me a long time to like watch that movie
Oh wow, really?
because I love Carpenter in the action sense. I think he has a really great like eye for action movies, right? But I don't touch his horror stuff, which is a lot of his shit.
Yeah.
And the thing is not a fucking action movie.
No, it's a horror movie.
It's just a really cool sci-fi horror movie, right? And obviously you combine the dude who makes some of my favorite movies with Kurt Russell,
Mm-hmm.
and the dude who has given me two of my favorite movies of all time, and Escape and Big Trouble.
Yeah.
So why would I not watch their other third collaboration before they do Escape from L.A.?
Yeah.
So it took me a long time to watch The Thing, and when I did watch it, it was like, fuck, what am I doing? Right? And at the end of the movie, I couldn't tell you if I liked it or not.
Really?
I just thought that was a movie, right? It succeeded in its goal of creating a massive amount of tension, and I like that he did that goal.
Okay.
But I don't think I'll ever watch this again
Hmm.
because I don't like body horror shit. And that whole movie
That's fair. That the thing is
that.
definitely all body horror.
So like if I say like I don't like if I told you Zach the one thing I hate about horror movies is fucking demonic possessions, and you tell me you should watch
The Exorcist.
yeah, I'd be like, why the fuck would I watch that?
Yeah.
That's stupid. You know what I mean? It's like the one thing I don't like, right?
Mm. I
So
got you.
I don't fuck with that movie anymore. I had it pre-ordered on 4K because it's coming out soon on 4K.
Oh.
I pre-ordered. I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy it. It's coming out in October or something or September.
Then you realize you don't
I
want
was
it.
like, what am I doing? So you know what I did? This is like 2 days ago. Literally 2 days ago.
Mm.
I went on YouTube and I watched the kill count for it. Like some I forget what channel does it. The kill count for each horror movie or whatever.
Hmm.
So I watched the kill count compilation for the
Can't
thing. I
be
don't know
more
if it was like
than. It can't be more than like 10.
I don't remember. I didn't finish it. So I
Oh.
watched the kill count video, and I got to um I got
Because
to
there's only like
when
10 of them on the base, I think.
yeah plus the European guys in the beginning, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
But I got to like the first I had to like kill 7, which is like the dude like when they go into the closet and the guy's being in the middle of being assimilated. I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to watch this. I'll pass.
The guys
You
get
know.
dissolved.
But then on the flip side, I'll go watch, fucking like the night comes for us, where
Mm.
like they're like he's like stabbing guts,
Yeah.
and I'm perfectly fine with it because it's the way that they're like packaging the fucking
Mm.
destruction, you know.
Okay.
Like the idea, like I don't like Saw movies, right? But
Yeah.
if you told me that Saw was the good guy, and the people that he was killing were like fucking
So you want
drug,
Dexter.
love Dexter,
Yeah.
love it, right?
Because
It's the
Dexter's a
pack.
good guy.
It's the packaging, right? I want to be like, okay, I see myself in the hero character.
I get that. So you don't like to see heroes get killed or hurt or whatever.
Well, I'm fine with the heroes being killed, right? Like, if it's a good story, obviously. It's the idea, like
But
in
not in the
horror
way that
movies.
horror movies do it.
Well, in horror movies, the main character's not the hero usually. Like, they're just a fucking person,
That's true.
and they just get fucked up for no
So
like
you get
what's
to Friday the 13th, Dream Warriors or whatever, everybody gets
right,
superpowers or some dumbass shit.
right. It's kind
I
of
don't
like
know. I've never watched any of those movies.
why are you killing them? Cause I wanna. All right, well,
Because my name's Jason and I have a machine.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Or
Yeah, I mean, who makes The Fly again? Who's that guy?
that was Cronenberg.
Cronenberg. Yeah, fuck all his movies. Fuck
Well,
all
that
his
was
shit.
like I think I talked about it like a couple of months ago, but it was oh fuck, what was that movie called? It was like the body horror movie, which I think I told you was body horror at the time, and I think that immediately turned you off from it. But
Oh yeah, 100%, dude.
I can't remember what the movie was called now. God
It's a
damn it.
Cronenberg movie.
No, I think it was. I think it's Cronenberg's kid. Hold
Oh,
on.
Jim Cronenberg. Gotcha.
I think Possessor.
Oh, this is the one that
Brandon Cronenberg.
this is the one that RLM did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good though. There really wasn't any body horror stuff really in it though. That's the weird part. Until the end, where he's like gets his thumb cut off, and you see like a thumb wiggling around. That's like the most
I'm
Cronenberg
fine with
scene in
that.
like the whole movie.
Yeah, I'm fine with stuff like that.
Um,
It's more like we're gonna have a prosthetic face and the face is gonna tear open, and then
oh well,
like
that does happen. Yeah.
or even like what's the movie called? What's it called? Another like I think it's an '80s horror movie, where like the I'll tell you the premise, right?
Okay.
Where like it's like this kid and his parents are like evil alien monsters, and they like assimilate people, and he like walks in on them like fucking like consuming a person like they're like mid consumption.
Hmm.
I don't know what it's
Never
called.
heard of
It's
that.
a popular ass like cult horror movie, and like the problem is that like
It's
I
like the
watch a ton
Blob.
of I watch a ton of like Blu-ray people on YouTube, like boutique Blu-ray collectors on YouTube,
Mm.
and like so many of them just love horror movies. So I'm like, I don't know what I just hear these names and they just
Horror movies
explain
are
it.
big, yeah, and like the DVD, Blu-ray.
It's like one of the biggest backbones of physical media, like
Yeah.
straight up, right? It's like that and like VHS action movies, which are like that's obviously my speed. So sustain the industry.
Yeah.
So sorry, I don't mean to keep rambling about the thing, but I got to that kill count in the video,
Hmm.
and I was like so turned off by it, right? So just not happy. That I immediately backed out cleared my YouTube history because I don't want to see it in my history. And it's sad because people love that movie, and I understand, right? I get it. It's a well-made movie. I've
Yeah,
seen
it's
it
super
one
fun.
time. I've seen it one time. It's a fine movie, right? There's nothing wrong with the movie, just not my speed, right?
Hey, man, not every movie's for everybody, man.
So immediately after I cleared my history, I went. I was on my phone, so I was watching on my phone. I immediately went and watched Blazing Saddles.
Hell yeah.
I was like, okay, here we go. Gotta use Listerine. Gotta get it out of my system.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good pick.
Which led right to Airplane, and then like that whole day was just like, okay, we just bounce. We just give every Mel Brooks and Zucker movie just to get my fucking mind off of that bullshit. So that's what I did.
Fair enough.
Zach, do you have anything else you want to mention about the Wild Bunch, man?
No, not really. I think we covered all the big stuff. I think the thing that really makes this movie probably stand out the most and that makes it an enjoyable watch for the most part is just, those three action set pieces, which are fantastic. I mean, that
Yeah.
opening bank robbery gunfight, like, sets the tone for, like, what this movie's going to be like. I think the bank robbery is a great chase scene with him facing off against the military and the Deeks people, and then that fucking lasts like 15 minutes, dude. That was good shit.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
happy with that
I
entire
agree.
time.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I definitely think that there is a it's a prolonged like bloated movie for no reason.
It's
I
definitely one of
think
those movies where you could definitely like see that you could cut this down to like under 2 hours for sure.
100%. I don't think that those extra those long scenes really added to the final product at all.
Mm-hmm.
But the like you said, like those three big action sequences are long, and I do want to mention before we wrap up that this movie is known for his editing style,
Mm.
which we didn't mention at all. Um, I had no problem with that editing style.
I didn't really notice anything super egregious with it. Like what about it like sticks
It's
out?
known. It's he's known for that editing, which is that was quick cuts of like we're gonna shoot you off a roof and you're gonna flip off the roof and then we're gonna cut away from you mid fall to someone else getting shot, then cut away to someone else getting shot really fast, and then cut back to the guy falling, and then cut to someone else getting shot. So these quick,
Huh. I
fast
didn't really
cuts.
notice anything like that. It didn't really like
Yeah.
jar me. Hmm.
Oh, I don't think it was jarring, but it's when it came out. Apparently, when I was doing some minor research,
Mm-hmm.
people like would notice because I guess it wasn't a common cutting decision. I guess at the time,
I didn't know
you
that.
know, run the scene and have the guy fall off the building, and you're gonna watch him do the swan dive and then hit the ground, then cut like a martial arts movie.
Right.
Whereas in this movie, he's like, you're gonna flip, fall for 2 seconds, cut away from you, have you get shot in the face, and then cut back to you falling. Like it's like super like French almost.
Mm-hmm.
Except for if it was a French New Wave movie, it would be you're shot on the roof, and then we cut away and cut back, and you're on the ground, and we have to figure out how did he fall. We'll put two and two together. He fell off the roof.
Yeah.
Did I tell you? Sorry, did I tell you about when I was in pre-production and when I was in film school, and we watched this French new wave movie. I think it was a French new wave. Maybe I'm getting my genres completely wrong. A French movie from this time period, and they do that where they were like, I guess I'm no French movie expert. I don't have that many criterions.
Mm.
I have fucking three criterions, and half of them are fucking samurai movies.
Yeah.
Right. So I told you about my whole class. I told you this already on the podcast, so I'm sorry. They were all like, "What's your favorite movie?" And they're like, "Quentin Tarantino," right?
Yeah.
So this one kid I told you about on the podcast, I keep saying that. He made us watch this French movie, and it's this new wave style movie where the guy is leaving his house in the scene, and it might be the samurai, could be wrong, and he leaves his house, and he's walking towards his car, and then a card cuts to him parked and walking away from his car, right, or something like that, something like that. And the point is like we know the math wise, he got in his car, drove to where he's getting out, and got out of the car. We know that, right?
Yeah.
But as cinema people, we're used to watching him get in the car, Drive,
for a little bit at
and
least.
then get out, right?
Yeah.
So the whole class got fucking pissed. I mean, I didn't give a fuck. I thought it was interesting. But they all got pissed. They were like, this movie, and vocally, this movie sucks. Why are we watching this crap? This movie blows. You know? And he's like, it's a good movie. Give it a chance. And 20 people, 20 dudes are like, nah, it's not Pulp Fiction.
Nah.
It's not Pulp Fiction.
It's not Tarantino.
It's not a Guy Ritchie movie. I want to watch it.
That's funny that you mentioned Tarantino stuff because I was listening to Trash Tation's podcast. Their new episode just came out, and they did a 3x3 for their favorite movies. And they got some picks on that list.
Well, what were they?
Gaunt's Gigux list had, and I know they give some exclusive, like they only did this like 10, and this isn't like their favorite movies. Like Gigux said that like his was like half like recommendations, half like childhood guilty pleasure type of thing. So like his list had like The Matrix, where I was like, okay, good shit. It had Space Jam, and I was like, okay, childhood, I get that. And then he had the fucking 40-year-old virgin, and I was like, what the fuck is this movie doing on this goddamn list? It was like that. What else did he have? I can't remember everything that he had.
What was the most terrible movie they picked?
Well, each of them had like a terrible. Each of them had at least one movie where I was like, why the fuck is this like on your 3x3? Like Gigux he had the 40-year-old virgin, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Joey, he put Adam Sandler's Click on his list, and I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah. And then Connor had like the most reasonable list. Like the one thing that he had on his list, so I was like, why do you have that on it? Well, he had two things, which is like, I like it, but he had Tokyo Drift on his list, and I was like, okay. And then he had Shrek 2, and I was like, Shrek, really? It was like one of your favorite movies?
Look, man, I'm having people compile our top 10s for just a new updated top 10 list.
Yeah.
And my goal right now, because I have like 7 iterations of mine right now that I'm trying to narrow down to the right one.
I mean, even since I've given you one, I've been thinking about more, and I was like, oh yeah, I could like jostle this around, and like I could like move this and like have a few honorable mentions or something like that. Like, I don't know. I keep constantly like thinking of new stuff and like reminding myself of stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was gonna say that it's like there's that pressure that people have, I think, when they make their top 10 list of anything, but specifically for movies. That movies, when you tell someone your top 5, top 3, top 10, it gives off an impression of kind of like who we're going to assume about you. Based on your top 10 movies or whatever.
Joey did have the most reasonable list, though, because he had Rashomon on there, he had One Cut of the Dead on there, he had Goodfellas, and he had Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Now was the most one where I was like, okay, that's a little pretentious. But
I'll be so pretentious. I think that list is full of shit.
I think
that list is someone who... Here's literally what I was trying to say, is that, like, I think when you ask someone, give me your top 10 movies of all time. And I think if you are in the artistic world, or you like art, or like movies, or like albums, or whatever the fuck it is you like, or like anime, I think that or like comics, or whatever the fuck, right? If you're like, hey, I'll give you an example, right? So you like anime, Zach. All right, Zach, ask me my top favorite anime.
Okay, Jason, what are your top favorite anime?
Number 1, I would say Naruto. Number 2, Dragon Ball Z. Number 3, Fullmetal Alchemist. Number 4, One Piece. Number 5, Bleach. You get my drift. Yeah. What do you assume about that person?
They only watch super popular shit.
They don't have a taste.
Yeah.
They don't have depth, right? Even though those are 5 of the probably the most popular shit besides like My Hero, Demon Slayer now, obviously, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But people still assume about that because they're so popular and they're on the Toonami or whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
But on the flip side, Zach asked me my top 5 favorite movies.
Jason, what are your top 5 favorite movies?
I don't know, probably something like Criterion release number 1, Criterion release number 5, Arrow release number 7. Like, if Criterion puts it out, and I start saying, like, Doctor Strangelove and fucking Brazil and fucking, Apocalypse Now, Director's Edition Part 2 from the 4K, or
Yeah.
Blade Runner, like stuff like that, what do you assume of that person? You are a fucking pretentious dickhead, right? So it's that battle that people have. I don't, even if it's internally, that they don't want to make their list seem so fucking like
They don't want their list to seem like they looked at the IMDb
it,
top 100 list and that's what they made their list out of.
or the fucking letterboxed top
Yeah.
reviewed list, unlike it's that battle, right?
Yeah.
So I've
Because
always
those
like
movies
tried.
are good, but you don't want to make it seem like you just looked at that list and was like, okay, I'll take those movies.
Right, and I think that's where like people want to express that they are also like, hey, I like Shrek. I'm funny and quirky, but also I love Brazil.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I also have a deep side. It's like, yeah, I love King of the Hill, but I also really love True Detective season 1. It's like, I get it. People are multifaceted, right? But I think that when I'm building my list
Mm.
currently, my new updated list, my goal is to like remove those factors and
Mm.
just list the movies that I know I watch on a yearly basis on multiple times a year.
Mm.
And when I did that, my list is not what I thought my list would be. I mean, some of them are some of them are absolutely
Well, I
the
mean,
same
yeah,
for
for
every
sure.
single
You're gonna have
time.
Back to the Future on there, of course.
Yeah, Back to the Future is always number 1. Matrix is always number 2. But when I go from 3 to 10, it is like, why why the fuck is my number 5 movie fucking Surf Ninjas? Well, because I watch it 7 times a year.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is number 6 fucking Three Ninjas Kick Back? Well, because I fucking watch it 6 times a year.
Yeah.
I mean, shit like that. Or like, really, if I say Apocalypse Now, Godfather Part 2,
Yeah.
I don't watch that movie every year. I watch that movie maybe once every 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I've seen Ghostbusters 2 6 times this year.
Yeah.
Right? I keep track of all my movies, right? But the fact that I've seen Too Fast, Too Furious 10 times this
Too
year.
Fast, Too Furious?
I mean, I've seen number 1 like 12 times because I've done
Okay.
multiple rewatches of the first two, because the first two are my favorite.
I don't even know which one to pick out of the Fast and Furious. I guess one's probably my favorite.
One's the best. One is the best.
Or Tokyo Drift, because I just
Yeah,
love DK, man.
not even that. Just I like number 1.
I
But
mean, number
so
one's really good.
that's just my point though. My interesting point. Like, I think that like when you start having to like overthink your list by being
Yeah.
like, not the order, put stake in the order, obviously,
Yeah.
but when it's like you're writing 60 movies down, there's no way
Yeah.
that 60 movies are going to be in your top 10. Your fucking top 10. And don't be afraid if Ace Ventura is number 1. That's fucking fine. Right? It's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if one of our friends, I asked our friends to give me a top 10 list, if one of our friends sends me back a fucking top 10 list and number 1 is like, I don't fucking know, like,
2001: A Space Odyssey.
exactly. Yeah, any Kubrick movie,
Yeah.
right? Except for like, I don't know, maybe like
Full Metal Jacket.
The Shining, or like fucking, what's it called? Fucking Ian McDowd. What's his name? Is it him? Ian? Malcolm McDowd?
Malcolm McDowell.
Clockwork Orange.
Oh yeah.
Like, but if it's like Eyes Wide Shut, oh, hey,
Nobody likes Eyes Wide Shut.
I'm sending it right back to you. Fix your shit, because you're full of it. There's no way that you're gonna tell me that 2001's your fucking number 1 favorite.
Yeah.
Who watches that movie every fucking year 6 times a year?
Yeah.
There's no way. I'm just saying. So hold on, real quick before we end the podcast, Zach. I know this is completely not part of the Wild Bunch, but like, You said you've been tweaking yours. What have you tweaked? We'll
I
get into
haven't
it later.
I haven't concretely tweaked it. There's definitely been like some movies that have been brought up to me, and I was like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot about that movie, and I forgot about such and such movie, which is like, I don't know, maybe it's at the point where it's like if I forgot about it, then maybe I shouldn't tweak it, because if I forgot about it, then it obviously wasn't that memorable. But at the same time, I mean, I understand where you're coming from for your list, but for me, I don't rewatch things too often. So if it was like, if my criteria was like something that I watch, more than like 2 or 3 times a year, there's not really any movie that I watch that many times a year. Like there's something I'll rewatch every year, or the things that I try to watch like every couple of years. But like I don't play movies on repeat a lot of time. Or
See,
at
that's
least
the
in a
opposite
year.
of
Like
me.
I usually don't watch something
Yeah.
multiple times in a year.
Nah, dude, that's me, man. I got my comfort movies,
Yeah.
right? So if I'm just bored one day, I'll be like, you know what? I'm watching Speed,
Mm.
or it's Lethal Weapon. Like I'm watching Lethal Weapon,
Yeah.
Die Hard. Like these are all of my top tens. I watch them every fucking year.
Although a movie that definitely came into my mind that I thought I should have added because I do love it so much, and I have rewatched it multiple times, was The Raid, because I love The Raid a lot.
Yeah, that's a great
And I was
movie.
like, I could put
Obviously.
that in my list somewhere. I just don't know where.
Yeah,
But that's definitely one where it's like I could sneak that in my list, because that is a movie that I've watched multiple times and I really do enjoy
you know,
watching it.
and also like to further explain like kind of where I go with this. Like if I have more than two versions of the movie on physical,
Mm-hmm.
that's probably in my top 10. If there's like, I have VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K Back to the Future, right?
Yeah.
I have DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
I have VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K The Mummy, right?
Oh fuck, dude, The Mummy's
I
so
have
fucking good.
I have VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K Men in Black.
That's another one that I could add. The Mummy. I've rewatched that multiple
Yeah,
times.
I have VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K Speed. You know,
Yeah.
um, I have all the same things except for 4K for Lethal Weapon, Die Hard. All this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's if I have a lot of them, that has to go. I'm constantly buying it. Like, if I'm constantly, I have to like, I want the updated version of that fucking movie.
Yeah.
So it have to be on my fucking list, right? Like it has to be.
Yeah.
The fact that I have like 6 versions of fucking Ferris, what? Duh. So I don't
No,
know.
yeah, I totally get where you're coming from with that for sure.
Like I just bought fucking Matrix on 4K. I just found the set finally,
Oh wow.
so I gotta watch that because I gotta get. Um, my Savannah, my fiance, has never seen them,
She's never
which I'm not
seen any of
surprised.
the Matrix movies?
I mean, I'm not surprised. She's a girl,
I
and
mean, I
like
feel
me,
like
not.
even girls have seen like the first Matrix.
Well, I think if you're a movie fan
Yeah,
and
maybe.
you're a lady, yeah, sure. But if you're not an action fan or a gun fan or a fucking anime fan, like why would you watch The Matrix if you're like
Yeah, I guess that's
even if you're a guy? But what's the percentage of dudes who fucking like guns when you're a boy, you're a kid?
there's a
Fucking
lot of kids like guns.
so like you watch The Matrix. How many kids do you know when you're a fucking child would do The Matrix?
In my friend group, a lot.
Exactly. I didn't know a single girl who did The Matrix
Well, that's true.
or would run around the fucking playground and be like Matrix. How many
Or
fucking
Matrix.
how many no girls? I didn't know any girls who did that, right?
No, definitely not.
But I told her that December 4 comes out,
Mm-hmm.
and we were watching a YouTube video of someone break down the finale to Loki, and the guy was like, in the breakdown was like, very similar to the architect of the Matrix. And I had to pause the video, and I got mad because I was like,
You got mad
don't
because they were
compare.
right?
I got mad because
Mad
don't even
because they were
fucking
wrong.
compare. Don't even compare the complexities of the MCU multiverse to the fucking Matrix. Don't compare it because they're not even close. They're not even fucking close.
Yeah, they're not.
So she's gonna have to
I
watch
mean,
them on
look,
4K.
nobody can compare to the ass hattery that
Yeah,
is the fucking architect's speech in The Matrix Reloaded.
that is a speech I had to watch 10 times as a
Look,
kid
I'll
to
watch it
even
100
understand.
times. I enjoy the hell of it. It's a stupid speech, though.
I think it's a great speech.
Eh.
And I heard a theory about Matrix 4 that I'm excited for. Right?
That's going to be the architect?
No, because Neo's in it. Trinity's in it, right?
Right, yeah. Just them, though,
So
because Lawrence Fishburne's not in it, right? Or is he?
I don't know, honestly.
I can't remember if I've heard he was in it or not.
The theory that I heard was it's not going to be a sequel. It's a prequel of a different iteration of Neo.
And a different iteration of Trinity?
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
I don't know how I feel about that. Is that better or worse?
I mean, Matrix 4 is worse.
You know what's going to happen if it's a prequel, that they're going to fail because Neo succeeds.
Yeah, could be.
Well, I mean, it's not could be. Like, your speech that you love so much proves that the prequel would be...
Unless it's a whole different universe. Or it's a whole different universe. Who knows? Or end of Matrix 3.
Now we're getting some fucking timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly...
Or at the end... We don't know at the end of Revolutions they succeed. We don't know.
Wait, yeah, we do. They succeeded.
We don't know they succeed. They think they succeed.
Well, that's...
The robots lay Neo down to rest.
He became Space Jesus.
Yeah, and they party and fucking whatever.
Yeah,
Zion.
He killed fucking Agent Smith.
Yeah, he beat the virus. But my point is, like, what's saying 3 months later, the machines don't go, fuck this, dude. And they just go back to Zion.
Well, that's definitely possible.
You know? Like, I just don't know how they're going to explain another Neo. Is he now a program? Like, is he now in the Matrix? Why is there a Matrix?
Is he going to be the new Agent Smith? Yeah, I don't know.
Like, isn't the end of the movie like they choose to let people decide if they want to be in the Matrix or not?
I mean, from my understanding, that's the ending of the Matrix.
So why do we need fucking... I don't know. Whatever.
Maybe they tricked people into staying in the Matrix, like giving them the illusion of free will, but they really don't.
Neo, because clearly Neo's not the main character. It's gonna be that girl or whatever. So like she wakes up and then it's the white rabbit or whatever the fuck it's called.
Huh? Neo's not the main character?
I don't think so. I think it's some girl. I think there's some girly cast.
Man, I didn't hear about this.
I thought there was cast a long time ago. I thought there was like
girl.
Yeah, there's some lady I thought she was gonna be the main character. I could be completely wrong though, because the only thing they're showing in the cast list is just the people that we know already, except for Agent Johnson.
Joe Jonas's wife? What the fuck is she doing in this movie?
Yeah, so who knows? I don't know. I have no idea. But December 22nd, 2021, I'll be seeing you in fucking...
I'll be seeing it
in theaters.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, thanks for watching.
Appreciate thanks for listening. Guys.
We'll see you back next week with more License to View, where we don't ramble for 30 minutes after the movie, or not. We'll see what happens. So,
I don't mind these tangents.
No, I don't mind. Hey guys, that's the Wild Bunch, 1969. We'll see you back next week, man.